Hey y'all, so I thought I would get out here and go over some key pointers. Some things that might help starting out. Your biggest thing is, I mentioned it before, is you want to follow the total net carbs. For every meal, you want to keep about 12. So the easiest way to do this is you take your total net carbs. You can find this on the back of any package. They'll show you the serving size of how much you should eat of that, as well as your breakdown. So instead of having to check for sugars and see how much is there, and because sugar turns to fat, you take your total net carbs, you subtract your fiber. Your fiber is really good for you, even if you're young and think you have enough, you probably won't. Um, but you want to take your total net carbs, subtract your fiber. The higher the fiber content, the lower it's actually going to be. It helps us to avoid that out. However, if you're eating more of a fiber diet, you want to make sure you're drinking more water. So, what you want to do, again, take your total net carbs, subtract your fiber. The amount that's left over is what your body will absorb as sugar. Sugar will turn to fat if it's not burnt off. So, if you are doing 2 hours of exercise a day, or you are, walking anywhere from 5 to 10 miles a day, your carbs per meal could actually go up. You could eat more because your body's going to burn that off. But starting out, if you are not on a regular exercise routine or walking all that, try to keep about 12 total net carbs per meal. When you have one that's like spaghetti, and you're not eating the cauliflower noodles, I don't know if they have those out yet, or the soybean or anything like that, then you're just using regular spaghetti noodles. What you're going to want to do is also check the total net carbs on the sauce. I like to try to find one that only has natural sugars from the tomatoes, but it's really hard to find. But they actually taste really good. They usually have more vegetables in them too. But you want to use ground turkey. You want to use ground chicken. If you just have to have that beef, then you're going to want to get something that's more like 90-10, 95-5. So the percentage of fat is really low. And if nothing else, just don't eat the bread with it. Add vegetables to your sauce. Cut up zucchini, take that middle part out with the seeds, and it doesn't get as soft so fast. Because the lower that you keep your sugar intake, it could mean that you could eat the piece of cake, the cookie later. So you want to save those for those times that you're craving the stuff you're not supposed to eat. So for instance, you can also make healthier versions of those things that you love. Like I love the little no-bake cookies. Love them. And you can actually do the oats that you put in the fridge overnight, the oatmeal, and you use your oatmeal and your cocoa powder. It's a third of a cup of oatmeal. Your cocoa powder is like a tablespoon. And then I'll use a tablespoon of peanut butter. I tend to, this type of recipe, I tend to like the peanut butter that is just the ground peanuts. But you can use regular peanut butter. A little maple flavoring. Use the almond milk and artificial sweetener. But I found if you use regular milk, the sweetener from the milk will actually make it almost to where you don't have to use any artificial sweetener at all. And if you use maple, 100% real maple syrup, about a tablespoon, depending on how sweet you want it, you don't even have to add the flavoring, and no artificial sweetener. Like, it's going to be sweet enough. Stick it in the fridge overnight. And then the milk, as far as, the milk, you want to basically make it to where it's coated. It's kind of a little bit runny, but not really. And stick it in the fridge tomorrow morning. Get up, stir it up, it's ready to eat. If you like it warm, you can warm it up. Or you can do it that morning. put it all together, stick it in the microwave, and you might have to use a little bit more milk, I found, but then it's warm, and then you feel like you're, cheating, and you're being a rebel because you're eating like dessert for breakfast, but it'll get that sweet out of your mouth, out of that taste, out of that craving. And oatmeal helps lower your cholesterol. So, and the cocoa powder has antioxidants. So, you want to eat healthier. You want to eat portion size. You just don't want to make it to where any food is off limits. There's a way to where you could eat any food that you want. You just have to learn the right way to do it. So, for instance, for breakfast you might have the oats. Or, you may have a piece of sausage, an egg, and a half of an English muffin, or half of a bagel. Unless you get the little itty bitty bagels, you get the whole thing. Put a little cream cheese on it if you want. Because you don't have to put a whole bunch. For those who like butter, I love the taste of butter. You want to use a little bit of butter. Add some avocado oil or some olive oil when you put it in the pan. You can also do this, melt it and put it on your toast. And you're getting the added benefits of the extra virgin olive oil or the avocado oil. 3 hours later, because you want to keep about 3 hours to 4 hours that you're eating. You want to pick a snack that's going to be fulfilling to you. So if you want an orange, something fruity, then pick a little cutie, because oranges are full of sugar. They have a lot of vitamins, but they're full of sugar. Or a small apple, or you could have a piece of cheese and, some sort of meat source and, your serving size of crackers and a pickle or some olives. And then, if you schedule it just right, the next thing you know, it's lunchtime. 3 to 4 hours later, it's lunchtime. For lunch, you can heat up that leftover meal that you only ate half of last night, and you heat that up and eat it. Or, you want something different, like a salad. You want to make sure you have your sunflower seeds or your, shell pumpkin seeds, pepitas, I think they're called. Like half a cup of grilled chicken to it, and a tablespoon of corn and black beans, a 1/4 cup of red peppers, and maybe 2 tablespoons of cheese. And then as far as your dressing, I think most dressings are like 2 tablespoons. If you're one of those that have to have it covered, again, add a little bit of avocado oil or a little bit of the extra virgin olive oil to the dressing. Thins it out a little bit, and everything's going to be covered. And you've got the added benefits of those oils. And don't go for the fat-free dressings. Like, we need that fat. Our body needs that fat to help break down the vegetables that you're eating, the salad. And the chicken, you get the protein from the chicken. It helps keep you fuller, longer. So yeah, you still are going to eat diet foods, but that's where you got to retrain your brain. It's not diet food. It's actually really good. For your next snack, you could eat the same thing you had for the morning snack, or you could switch it up. You could have one of those Oikos 000 yogurts. They don't actually use artificial sweetener. They use a natural sweetener that just doesn't have any calories to it. It sounds artificial, but it's a natural source. And I've heard some people say it gives them gas. Well, it's because it's working out your system, kind of like fiber. Fiber at first will give you gas, because we need to be going. Our body needs to flush out everything. So, and when it's not, there's something wrong. There is something wrong. And then for dinner, try the spaghetti squash, y'all. Like, it's really, actually, it's really good with like the right sauce. And you can use little chicken sausages. I'm not one that likes the red sauce, but I'll mix a little cream in it. I'll mix a little Parmesan cheese in it. you know. But in instances where you use the spaghetti squash, you can have Alfredo sauce. Like, do you know how easy it actually is to make that? Because you don't have, if you're great in the kitchen and you can sit there and slowly do it and not have it break, more power to you, baby. But you can also make it by using, half and half. A little bit of cream, a little milk, whichever your source. A little bit of cream cheese, some Parmesan cheese, which you want to add later once it, gets boiling. And some garlic. You got your Alfredo sauce. Because that stuff in the jar is disgusting. Unless you add to it. And then you can have some bread. But you can have bread anytime, but you want to eat, the more carbs you have as far as pasta, you want to eat less bread. Because that's a whole lot of carbs. Unless you're getting ready to take a run or you're getting ready to go to the gym. And then you might want to wait, an hour? Otherwise you're going to get the cramp. Because it really does happen. But you can also take a steak, chop it up, get those vegetables, those mixed vegetables. You can either use them fresh or the freezer. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. Yeah, Dollar Tree has food you can actually make that's healthy. And make your own style of hibachi at home. Take your rice and they have seasoning packs. Once you get good enough at cooking again, you can always, mix your own seasonings. But if you're one of those that needs it quick because you're in a hurry, you got the baby screaming, you got your honey coming home, you got all this mess to do, grab you a seasoning pack. And mix it in with the rice. Put some low sodium soy sauce. It's great. You can make your own hibachi at home. And you want to eat the serving size of rice. Like if you go to one of the hibachi places, eat half the rice they give you. Or better yet, eat the steak and the vegetables first, or the shrimp or whatever. Eat everything first. Eat the rice at the end. Because then you're going to get full on something healthier. And your rice, which is your carb, you're still going to get some of it, which will be what your body needs because you'll be full. And that's another thing, that we were taught. You clean your plate. It's a sign of respect and so forth. But really, it just messes us up. Because once we're full, we should be able to put that up for tomorrow and be done. And that's another retrain your brain. When you're full, you're done. They'll say, push it away. Well, you can do that if it makes you feel better. Just stop eating it. Get it to go. Or go in the cupboard and get some Tupperware. Put it up for tomorrow's lunch. So that's just a little bit of kind of how to think about it. It's the same as a lot, but it's different. It's easy, but it's not. Because it's all about retrain your brain that half a cup of ice cream isn't going to kill you. It's not going to make or break your diet. Now, if you eat the whole tub, you might, But then really it's not, because you had a bad night. Tomorrow's another day. Just do it all over again. And you start over as many times as you can. The same thing they tell you about quitting smoking. You're not a failure. You just had to start over again.